What's up, you beauties? Welcome to High and Wide Hockey post-game show. Flyers fall to the Seattle Kraken 6-4. Scott Laughton scores twice in the loss. Ivan Fedotov lit up once again in his second start for the Flyers during this road trip. Flyers controlled, I thought, most of the first period of play. Ultimately, the second period does them in again as the Kraken took it to them for basically the whole period. But should they have ever been in this position? I don't think so. Let's get right into this stuff here. So, Scotty Laughton scores twice in the first period. Good to see him get going. I thought he's had a pretty solid start to the season, and nice to see him get on the score sheet early. A couple pretty goals. The first one he followed up the play, sort of a Scotty on the spot type goal. And then, of course, Fedotov gives up his first softie of the game. And Scott Laughton puts the Flyers back on top with a nice snipe job of a goal. Takes the safety off and goes top shelf. Gives the Flyers a 2-1 lead. Scott Laughton's off to a pretty solid start to the year, points-wise, 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points in 4 games. Point per game player, some might say, sell high. No, I won't include any names there. It's definitely not Hoagie, that's for sure, right? There. So, yeah, but Scott Laughton off to a hot start. Love to see it. I'm a Scott Laughton fan. I hope to keep him around, whatnot. Teddy checking in the chat here. Last year, we were in the playoff spot all year. I'm convinced top 5-7 pick all year. We'll see. I mean, it's early, right? So it's very easy to overreact to things, and I'm guilty of it as well. It's more fun to overreact and sleep on it, wake up tomorrow and go, it's not that big a deal. So I mean, I'm I'm going to overreact a little bit to one player in particular tonight, but let's get to some of the facts from the game tonight. As I mentioned, Fedotov gave up a bad goal in the first. Flyers go 0-for-2 on the power play in the period. Head into the second period with a 2-1 lead, believe it or not. And then kind of the wheels just fall off, much like the Edmonton game. Seattle took it to the Flyers for basically the full 20 minutes. Fedotov gave up another bad goal. We're tied at 2. Flyers end up getting – so my notes here kind of made me laugh. Flyers give up 4 goals, and my very next line was Fedotov stinks. There was just no pushback at all in the period. Matvei Michkov hit in the corner. I think it was Brandon Montour. Nobody goes after Montour. I mentioned in the last show, I think I mentioned it on the show with Jack. I don't care if it's a clean hit. You gotta show these guys that they can't go after your young players like that, because Michkov's not going to be fighting anybody. Luchanko's not going to be fighting anybody. Even if it's a clean hit, you need to show that you can't touch them. You can't hit them. You can't touch these guys. There's some guys that you can't touch, some guys that you can touch. These are guys you can't touch, right? We'll fight you for dirty hits on these guys. These guys you can't touch at all. You can't touch Michkov. You can't touch Luchanko. Can't touch Konechny, right? And then that Konechny hit at the end of the period. Look, the hit itself, I'm fine with. That's a hockey hit, right? If you have an opportunity to lay a good hit on a guy, take it by all means, right? But you can show some pushback. You can get in his face. You don't have to fight him over it, but you can say, hey, we saw that and we don't want to see it again. And he didn't. There was none of it. So we'll get to the third. TK's not out to start the third period. He eventually comes out. He obviously gets in the fight with Yanni Gourde. And so, yeah, another interesting thing to start the third, Fedotov was pulled. So I think what they said on the broadcast was they were giving Urson the night off, give him a break for the long flight home, and have him start the home game Saturday. Urson started the third period. And look, Fedotov he played bad enough to be pulled. Gave up 10 goals in 5 periods during his 2 starts to start the season. And he didn't, I've said it many times. All I wanted was something that would inspire confidence heading into the regular season with Fedotov. He didn't have to light it up, but just have a couple solid performances. that would say, okay, yeah, this guy can spell Urson a game or two, right? And didn't look like that guy to me. He actually made me feel worse watching him play. Um, I don't have any confidence in Fedotov as well at all. The first two goals shot directly at him, and somehow they went straight through him. So, I mean, we can defend him, and of course, he's brand new, and sure, but this is a post game show. This is a reaction show. There's no rational thinking allowed in the post game show. He look straight up. The Flyers lost that second period and ultimately cost them the game. If you want me to kind of be a little blunt here, Fedotov lost them the game tonight. Flyers scored 4 goals, should have been more than enough. If Sam Ersson starts this game tonight, Flyers are 2-1-1 heading back home to Philadelphia. Yeah, and maybe he should have started 3 out of 4 games. Why was it split? So that's a question. I mean, you're paying a guy $3 million a year. I don't care if he's 7 feet tall. The puck's coming straight at you. Just fucking stop it. Just stop the puck. So, all right, let's move on a little bit. Later on in the third period, Cam York scores. You love to see it with a great shot over the shoulder of Philip Grubauer. Jamie Drysdale showing you guys what he can do on the power play, creating his own lane, and then getting the puck to the net for his first goal of the year on the power play. Flyers score another power play goal. Power play is off to a good start this year. While I thought at times tonight it looked good, and other times, they were moving the puck around a lot. Got to get shots to goal, man. I don't care how pretty the passing looks on the power play. If you're not directing the puck towards the net, it's off or not. It's who gives a shit how pretty the passing looks if you're not getting pucks to goal, right? And that's the bottom line there. So good for Drysdale making the lane and getting the puck to the net. Unfortunately, Oliver Bjorkstrand, the Flyers were kind of pressing to get that game-tying goal late in the third, and Jamie Drysdale gets caught in a pinch. Cam York can't catch Bjorkstrand going the other way, and he beats Urson one-on-one, 6-4. That's the end of the game. So, all in all tonight, the Flyers had a good first period. It was much like the Edmonton game, unfortunately. Good first period. Maybe the other team makes adjustments for the second, and the Flyers just, they got curb stomped in that period. They were a mess defensively. Goaltending couldn't bail them out. Heading into the third, down 3 goals, it's pretty tough to come back down 3 in one period, and they almost did it. But they showed you, how hard it can be. So, a disappointing result in the game, disappointing result overall in the road trip, I would say. But, it's not the end of the world. 1-2-1. They get back home. I think they're home 4 out of the next 5. Big game Saturday night against Vancouver, who their only win against so far this year. And, they're going to be looking for some revenge. So we'll see. We have, let's get to a couple comments here. So Trap's checking in. I don't know why you keep saying this, but it makes me laugh every time you say it. So yeah, go to bed. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here in 5-10 minutes. Teddy chiming in. I said before the game, Fedotov is playing. That's a loss. Play the good goalie against the beatable opponents. Look, if Urson's the starter, throw him in there 3 out of 4 games, figure out a way to make it work. I think somebody said that he was going to start the second game of the back-to-back to start the year. Why not? Why didn't he start? Is he going to be tired playing 2 games in a row already? He was just off all summer. They were off like 10 days between preseason games and regular season games. Get him in 3 out of 4 of those games. Like, this is the season now. It's not warm-ups. It's not camp. You want to win these games. So hey, it's the season. This is what we do. It's fair to ask questions, right? So let me see here. What else do we got? I thought Jet Luchenko had another really solid game. I know we're all watching Luchenko. Is he going to stick around? Look, through 3 games, all that he's played in, 3 of the 4 games, I thought he was very noticeable in all 3. He's been better in all 3 of these regular season games than he was at any point during the preseason. It's kind of funny, actually. But I don't see any reason to send him down. We had a nice discussion in our group chat earlier today, and what's the benefit now? Like, he's showing you that he can play and perform in the NHL. What's the benefit of sending him back to junior now? Isn't he going to learn more playing in the NHL? Right? He's going to learn how to take care of his body, learn how to play the game NHL style. I mean, this is the highest, best league in the world. Don't you want him learning here, right? Where if this was back in preseason, I was saying he's not ready for the NHL. He doesn't look like he's ready. I don't know what happened, but he's completely flipped a page here. And so unless he starts to flame out and somehow run out of gas during this 9-game stretch, keep him. See what happens. Obviously, I don't expect him to play in 81 games, 80 games. You can keep him at 60, 65, 70 if you want. I don't care. But I don't see the benefit of sending him back down now. He looks like he's learning fast, quick learner, mature kid, as they say. The only thing that I do worry about is injury. We saw the hit with Susie. I think back when they played Vancouver, he kind of bounced off of him like he was nothing. And then, for example, tonight we saw the hit on Michkov. I'm not worried about forwards so much as I am defensemen. And that play on Michkov tonight was a prime example for me. Defensemen in the NHL, most of them are big. Most of them play like Brandon Montour, where if they get an opportunity to put a body on you in the corner, they're going to do it, right? And in some cases, you get what you get tonight with Michkov. And, some of these guys are assholes, man. And the size difference, the maturity, the physical maturity, it matters. It really matters. So something to keep an eye on. They mentioned on the broadcast that Nick Seeler is skating with the team. And this is something that I had brought up on our weekly show with Jack, that this Nick Seeler thing seems to kind of be dragging out a little bit, where, just originally it was just a blocked shot. And they said he, was experiencing numbness in his leg and in his foot. And he ends up missing the entire road trip. And why I think this is their this is, arguably the best shot blocker in the league. If he didn't miss time last year, he finishes the league with the most blocked shots. But also, this is, supposed to be Jamie Drysdale's partner, right? This is supposed to be your second pair. And we want to see stability for Drysdale so that we get the best Drysdale that we can get as soon as possible. So that's a thing. Is he supposed to come back Saturday, Nick Seeler? I don't know. This is kind of dragging out. Like I was, kind of suspicious might happen. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah. So we'll see, guys. We got a comment from JR here. Fedotov missed a year in the Russian military. He definitely needs some AHL time. Former Olympic silver medalist, just needs some more reps. He has definitely been a weak point. And that's fair, right? Like, I think JR's point here is extremely fair, which, this is the logical, the rational point of view. But, it's post game. We don't need your rationality here, JR. I'm just kidding, man. But that's a great point. So it's good to bring me back to even, but let them down twice in a row. And if it was like giving up 2 and 3 goals a game, and giving up 1 or 2 bad ones, that would be easier for me to an easier pill for me to swallow. They win this game tonight if Sam Ersson starts, and that it irks me, right? I know it's early, but these games in the beginning of the season count, just as much as the games in the end. At the end of the season, still 2 points, and they didn't even get. He was so bad they didn't even get 1. And I know the team in front of him wasn't great either, but you take away those 2 first period goals, they get a point. It's 4-4. So unfortunately, there were a lot of bright spots tonight, but unfortunately, Flyers come away with 0 points. They head back to Philadelphia with 3. That's going to do it for our show, guys. We hit 15 minutes. Thank you guys for hanging out. I think this is our last 1 a.m. or 1:15 a.m. post-game show of 2024. So thankful for that because I'm friggin' beat. So, yeah, for HW Hockey, I'm Jim Iacovone. I'll talk to all you guys tomorrow. Good night. Let's go Flyers.